Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome to the channel, and today we're doing a continuation of the Dark Moth 15-second deck profile that I had done previously. This deck focuses around the Cocoon of Ultra Evolution skill. This skill allows you to tribute an insect monster that's equipped with an equipped card from anywhere on the field in order to special summon a level insect monster from the deck. This also gives you the ability to shuffle an insect from your grave to your deck in order to draw a card. So this deck focuses around using the triple Parasite Paranoid, a card that can equip itself as a quick effect onto other monsters on either player's field in order to be able to summon either one of their moths. Another cool fact about the Parasite Paranoid is that Paranoid allows you to summon a moth from your hand or any level 7 or higher insect, provided it is sent from the field to the grave whilst equipped to a monster. So that means if you have a moth in hand and a parasite in hand, you can parasite equip to your opponent's monster, use a skill to summon a moth from deck, and then use parasite's effect because you're sent to graveyard whilst equipped to summon a second moth from hand. This also allows you to use the skill to shuffle back the parasite in grave in order to draw a card. Next we have Triple Breaker. Breaker is all round just a good removal card, but it's also a strong beater to use in the deck because in this deck you'd want to push for game as soon as possible, and if you can't push for game using two moths, one moth and one breaker would easily close out games as well. But then also the effect to destroy back row is really useful because it means your moths are more protected from being interrupted, which makes it much easier for you to push for game. Next we have the triple Sphere Kuriboh. Just like Breaker, it's a dark attribute which is useful for the dark part of Dark Moth, but it also is a great defensive tool because it allows you to protect yourself and not let your life points get smashed by your opponent, because the aim of the deck is to get to your Moth combo as soon as possible and push for game, and these cards help you not die, and that is really what you want to do whilst you're waiting for your Moth. You just don't want to die. Finally, for the monster lineup, we've got 2 Santa Claus and 1 Newdoria. Newdoria is a dark, so that rounds off 7 dark monsters in the main deck. But also Newdoria and the Santa Claus is a spot removal, because Newdoria can destroy a monster when it's destroyed by battle, and Santa Clauses can tribute over monsters. Another good part about Santa Claus is you can tribute over set monsters, so it gives your opponent a face-up monster. The benefit of giving your opponent face-up monster is because you can only use Parasite Paranoid on face-up monsters. So you'd go Santa Claus over your opponent's monster, and then you get your Parasite equipped to your Santa Claus, and then you can tribute in order to get to your moths. And that rounds off the monster lineup. Next we will look at the spells and traps in the deck. Start we have triple Allure. It's Dark Moth. Allure lets you dig to get to your moth quicker, and that is the aim of the deck, to do it as fast as possible so your opponent can't really interrupt your plays. You have 2 Cosmic here. Cosmic is great for removing back row just like Breaker, and the fact it's a quick effect, you can use it on the end phase if you have combo ready and you're just waiting to draw one more piece. You can end phase to remove back row, so it's less likely to be able to use it to interrupt you. And finally we have 1 Zoma. Zoma, in all fairness, could be a Night Beam for more back row removal, but I also feel like he's just a good one-off defensive tool. And that lines up the main deck. Next we will look at the side deck here. So the side deck consists of 2 Lava Golems. Lava Golems good against decks that spam a bunch of monsters out like Magnets or sometimes the XYZs, because you're able to tribute 2 of their monsters, which is great removal. It allows you to have face-up monster for Parasite, and it also burns your opponent for 1000 every one of their standby phases. Next we have the double Book of Moon. Book of Moon, great defensive card. Great in the mirror match as well, because in the mirror match you can use Book of Moon to flip your opponent's monsters, or your monsters, depending on who they equip their Parasite to. So if you do that on activation of Parasite, Parasite gets sent to grave without being equipped, so it can't trigger the effect special summon from hand. And because there's no insect on the field that's equipped with an equipped card, you cannot use the skill to summon a moth from the deck either. And finally, double Lost Wind. Lost Wind is best in the XYZ matchup because you can negate your opponent's effect, say the XYZ or the YZ, which is the most common monster, and then once you've negated their effect, their attack's permanently halved, and when they summon another guy from the extra deck, you just get the trap back. So this allows you to have essentially 4 monster negates if you get to that point. And that lined up the side deck. Last thing to go over is the extra deck. As you could see from the side and main, there is no use of the extra deck. So just play 6 random monsters. The reason I say this is because you want to have an extra deck so your opponent doesn't know if you have Awakening the Dragon. So say if you set Lost Wind or Book of Moon, or if we look here, if you set the Cosmics, or if you set Zoma, or even Allure as bait if you haven't got any darks in hand to use it with. It just allows you to make your opponent second guess what their plays are, because if they try and destroy your back row to try and push for game, they'd have to think about, oh, what if he's playing Waking the Dragon? Because a summon from Waking the Dragon can be detrimental, especially if you summon something like Arcana Knight Joker or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, depending on the situation. And it just makes it so destroying back row is less enthusiastic about destroying back row because you always have the fear of what if it's Waking the Dragon. Anyways, thank you for coming to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in future videos.